Chapter 5. Nakahs.
Repeated visits to their secret location inspired venturing ever further into the darkness. Immune from demon superstitions, they found their increasing distance away from civilization stimulating. During these excursions, they communicated telepathically. An occasional desert breeze hissed sand about them. Their bare feet meeting soft sand seemed to pound, amplified by the silence. Kicking up sand, they felt its texture between their toes. In the far-removed desert, absence of their culture's burden allowed a heightened sense of themselves and each other. On an occasion, when they'd ventured further than before, stars pierced the intensified darkness like needles. Awareness, aligned to a point where they perceived almost as one, guided them. Then a curious feeling crept in. Fear. The sensation intensified. Within the fear, perception that they'd been found grew until the anxiety overwhelmed them. Had they been detected? Would this result in them being sent for deprogramming? Living the rest of their eternity as programmed zombies raised their fear to terror. There was no antidote for thorough deprogramming. Terror turned to rage as Zentran considered the senseless perversion of humanity that deprogramming brought about. Distortion of a soul's infinite capabilities. How could such a base procedure have been conceived? He'd never been so angry. Only insane, insecure leaders brought such madness about. The crazed desire to reduce others to their degraded level rather than raising to greater heights themselves. Zentran's inherent calmness had taken leave as fury engulfed him. Infuriation dissipated the fear. Zak felt it as well. A simultaneous realization occurred.
This is an illusion!
Shouted Zak. Zentran acknowledged him mentally. An illusion of that magnitude would have driven anyone else out of their minds. No wonder people were scared to death of venturing into the dark zone. With fear, terror, and anger dissipated, curiosity emerged to explore this new phenomenon. Within a few paces, renewed terror froze them to their very being. Zentran felt Zak's terror compounding his and mentally disconnected. Realizing he was on his own, he tried frantically to connect again, but couldn't. The terror ran through him, overpowering his sense of existence. Here, deep in the dark zone, they were lost forever. They'd never find their way back. Hopelessly he turned. He must run. Run! Mercifully, he found something to hold on to. A flaw emerged in the abject terror pervading his reasoning. Anger returned, capable of terrifying the most wicked of evil spirits. He shouted so loudly at Zak that it would have served as well had they been 500 paces apart.
This is another crap-faced delusion!
Zak, in a petrified state, managed to respond feebly.
Oh!
The fierceness of Zentran's outcry dislodged Zak's terror.
So we're lost and can't find our way back. We wander around until we die. So what? At least on rebirth, our minds are still intact. Not nearly as bad as having our heads fried by deprogramming and minds scrambled so that no one can straighten them out again. This is another illusion, created by something. Whatever it is, doesn't want us here.
Recovering, Zak laughed. The fear implant continued, but without a specific subject now. Pure fear they controlled by offering no resistance. They sat on the ground to examine its composition. The sensation subsided. Presence of another being became apparent, emanating awesome power.
Could this be the guardian of the universe? The supreme being?
Zentran wondered. The concept was beyond his understanding. There was no challenge, no hostility. Here was an opportunity to learn from whatever this was, but Zentran found nothing meaningful to ask. He felt an unusual oneness with it, and it with him, almost like looking into a mirror on a physical level. What seemed to be a being appeared to recognize him. It knew Zak as well. An unspoken question arrived in both Zentran and Zak's minds. It consisted of many questions simultaneously.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Why do you not stay with your own people? How is it that you are so strong mentally? Why do you not flee? Do you not receive the fear impulses?
The multifaceted question seemed superfluous. Zentran opened his mind, allowing his feelings to flow like the desert stream.
It seems that you know the answers to the questions within your question. So why do you ask?
Perhaps he'd been too forward. Perhaps he needed to be more respectful. Whatever the consideration, no response was offered to his counter-question. His feeling of oneness with the entity continued to make the question irrelevant. Possibly, the power of the being was such that information flowed at an increased rate, giving an apparent indication of prior knowledge. It came to Zentran that there was something he had to ask.
As a child, I remembered being summoned to Delta 4B on a mission, but the quest's details have never been revealed to me. Are you the one who is to inform me? Do you know what my mission is?
Zentran felt welcome now, as the being accepted him and Zak into its space.
I am not the one who is to leave you. Even she who summoned you is not the one who will enlighten you. A piece of the answer stares you in the face as you sequence, and more will come to you in the future. You are the one who will enlighten yourself.
Faint lights, grouped in pairs, became visible around them. As the illumination grew, small, sleek animals were recognizable. Their light-producing eyes soon illuminated the entire area with amber beams, scanning everywhere they looked. Contrasting washes of soft blue emanated from their pupils. The entity indicated,
These animals are known as Qtons.
evenly spaced black and white stripes covered their fur. In their colored light, the stripes appeared black and amber. A circle of Qtons formed around them, their gaze casting illumination towards Zentran and Zak.
Are you these animals? Do you exist in them collectively?
The questions emanated from Zak.
Are these animals what our civilization considers to be dangerous demons?
No, the creatures you see are not what I am. As you find me now, I am from another dimension, and free of the body. With your progression so bravely embarked upon, you will come to know more of these things. Inside the Qtons are beings like ourselves, who have lost most of their abilities. This is how they exist now. They are friends. that I protect from time to time against those who would invade this space. There is no danger other than the harmless fear they impart to ensure their safety. Collectively they can generate enough to send most intruders away. I help enforce what's arisen earlier. It merely reflects and amplifies an individual's own fear. It wears off when the space is vacated.
Do you always occupy this space in the dark zone?
No, I'm not always here, but you can communicate with the Q-Toms on a low metal order.
Where or what is the other dimension you come from?
You'll know of it in the future. Some is also in the past, such as not for this sequence.
How far in the future?
Enough.
The entity appeared fractious with the question, then allowed an answer.
Perhaps a lifetime.
There was no further information available, even though Zentran searched for it. The entity sensed his searching and shut him out, but not before Zentran caught glimpse of a spectacular scene before the door closed. The scene appeared to be a slice of time, unmoving as a still picture in his mind. The entity had not meant him to see it, which meant it was significant. The picture had slipped through a crack, and now the amazing content remained available for Zentran to examine. Having appraised the mental picture, Zentran asked,
By what name may we know you?
The being took some time to answer, as if concerned with what he divulged. Or was there something uncertain regarding a name? Perhaps a bit of both.
You can call me Nakahs.
The entity responded eventually. Then, the beingness that was to become a guiding inspiration to Zentran for many solar revolutions to come was no longer there.